The history of golf is littered with some amazing clubs made by manufacturers which are no longer with us. Hi guys, my name is Peter Finch and this is Finch Weekly, your weekly look at everything to do with golf. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button as well, and please comment below on everything that you see in today's video. And today's episode was sparked by a single photo. So this photo was posted by Steve Marr on his Instagram and had nothing to do with this particular topic. But behind the bag on Tom Watson, you will see a logo of Ram. But it got my mind racing about golf club companies who used to make incredible products, who have fallen by the wayside, some who are no longer making clubs at all. And I wanted to have a look, I wanted to jog some people's memories, maybe introduce you to a few brands you may not have heard of before, and just reminisce about the good days. So where I'm going to start is with club manufacturers who are still producing golf clubs, but simply just not to the same standard as they used to. Now, the first place I'm going to start is with McGregor. Now, the reason that I wanted to start with McGregor is that they have unbelievable heritage for a start. Now, it was established in 1897. Now, by anyone's recollection, if anyone couldn't recollect from that far back, then boy oh boy, you have done incredibly well. But how I remember McGregor is when they started to bring out their blades. Now, this was about the time when I was a junior golfer. So I'm talking kind of 13, 14 years old, looking at these blades in the pro shop thinking just, I will do anything to have a set of these blades. I mean, just look at some of these. I mean, these VIPs, these V-foils as well. Just look at it. And from that time, so that's going to be what? Should I reveal how old I actually am? But anyway, from that point, it was acquired by Greg Norman, I believe. And in recent history, I mean, McGregor had a very close association with Jack Nicklaus. I know he used to have quite a large shareholding in the company, which he sold. And then he went through a little bit of a decline. Then it was bought by Greg Norman. And that's when he had his little bit of a resurgence. And then he just kind of dived down again. And now when you actually have a look on the website, all it's selling really is box sets and a bit of a dodgy looking driver. And that's the theme that you're going to see as we talk through some of these brands that once made such incredible equipment and is now just basically selling box sets. Next on the list is Adams. Now, Adams for a time quite literally made the most desirable fairway woods and hybrids on the market. They were absolutely awesome. So some of the Titleized products that they made, they were in the tour bags of so many of the world's best players. And certainly for a time, they had so many of the senior tour players signed up because of the quality of the hybrids and all the rest of it. It really had a lot of momentum. It was then bought by TaylorMade, and this is where it starts to get quite interesting. And this is the theme which you will see with quite a few of the smaller golf companies. So TaylorMade bought Adams, not so much because they were bothered about selling Adams clubs. They bought Adams so they could get the patents. So the patents that would have made the Adams clubs unique, they were folded into TaylorMade. TaylorMade used that technology, those patents, to put then into their own clubs to make the TaylorMade clubs better so they could sell more. Which for TaylorMade is great. And all the big manufacturers tend to do this from time to time. And we're going to make that transition from Adams to Yes. So the success that Yes putters had for a number of years was absolutely unbelievable, and they're still in the bags of some tour players. I know Matt Fitzpatrick, European tour player Ryder Cupper, he still uses his Yes putter. And remember, it was with a Yes putter that Jim Furyk, after buying one on eBay for about $30, I think it was, he went on to win the Tour Championship in the FedEx Cup using one of these putters. You know, they have a great history and a great heritage, and certainly hold some pretty fond memories for me. I used Yes putters pretty much all throughout the time when I was an assistant. It didn't help much, but that's pretty much on me. And again, this is quite interesting because Yes, they were bought out by Adams. And of course, then Adams were bought by TaylorMade. So TaylorMade got the patent to Adams as well. And I did actually find a link on the TaylorMade website for a putter, but I'm pretty sure they're not being sold anymore. Please correct me if you have seen Yes putters being sold as new, not just on eBay and all the rest of it. I would love to know. Now, the next company on the list is one which I remember so fondly, and I know a lot of people do as well, and that's Maxfly. I used to love playing with the Maxfly Revolution balls. What an unbelievable ball they were. They and the Pro V1 pretty much came out at the same time. And it was basically between those two balls which one was the best. And how one went one way and the other went the other. And they also made some pretty damn good clubs as well. But there is one set of clubs which I just need to show you. I am of course talking about the Maxfly Australian blades. I mean, seriously, just have a look at these. Now, I've actually hit and played with a set of these before. It was quite a few years ago now. And they are quite literally a knife. They are a butter knife. Like, you get down to the 3 and the 4 iron in these, and there's nothing there. Now, obviously, when any business goes out of business, it's not good, but some of the ones that I've spoken about there as well, that have just been reduced down to selling from box sets, you know, that is also quite sad as well. You know, it's just a hollow name now. It would be completely amiss not to talk about Ben Hogan as well. I mean, Ben Hogan is in a state of flux at the moment, so it went out of business, it's back in business, and the irons that they produce are so nice. But certainly from my memory, like the Apex blades and all the rest of it, God, they were such good clubs. Now, there may be some that I missed out. I know things like Tommy Armour, like people were suggesting, but that wasn't really my generation, so I'm not too familiar with those clubs. But if there is any that I've missed out, please comment below. Let me know what your fond memories are and thoughts of those brands. Now, the last one we're going to get to is going to be Nike. Now, Nike obviously still involved in golf in a big way with all their apparel. Obviously, that's their main fun driver, and they are spread throughout pretty much every single sport on the planet. But when they started to bring out clubs, when they started to try and penetrate that market, they had some really good successes and some beautiful clubs in many respects that they brought out, especially some of the bladed irons. Obviously, I am a little bit biased towards bladed irons, but they also had a few kind of shockers as well. But hey ho, that is all in the past because they stopped making clubs. They ditched that base of operations at the oven and just stopped making them pretty much overnight. And it just shows you how quickly a stable presence within the golf market, because that's what Nike were. I mean, there was no real clue, there was no real intention from them that they were going to start making clubs. They'd actually just started to produce, in my opinion, some of the best clubs that they'd ever done. If they'd have hung on for another couple of seasons, who knows what would have happened. But at the end of the day, they saw that they weren't making enough money and they ditched it. But it is that reminder that of all the companies out there at this moment in time that are dominating the market, where they're going to be in 20 years' time. It's such a fascinating insight to think that companies like Callaway, like Ping, imagine Ping not being in the golf industry. Just imagine that. I can't comprehend that because they've been around obviously for so long now, but things change. And it's such an interesting kind of marketplace. It's such an interesting thing to see all these companies trying to outdo each other to try and grab attention. It's fascinating. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this walk down memory lane. As mentioned, please comment, let us know what you think about all these clubs companies. Let me know what you missed. Let me know what you would like to come back. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you down here next time.